Purchase time to the genuine ones only. You know, if you ever been a victim of discrimination because of your living situation at the end of the day, just know that you're not alone. It should be no reason why you should have to go to management and, you know, in a respectful way, not in a toxic behavior, but let the management company know, like, hey, like, you turned over an apartment to me that should have been well kept, well maintained, better than it was supposed to. It should be no reason why it's holes in the wall. It should be no reason why it's bug festation problems going on within bug festation problems going on. At the end of the day, you know, and you reevaluate your thought process, saying to yourself is, when you first move in, you didn't see none of these signs. It was blindsided. You ever walked into a blindsided situation and reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, they just played in my face today? They just try to manipulate my character for something I truly wasn't. It's crazy, delusional. Whatever they want to put a book name to your cover at the end of the day. If you ever walked into a blindsided situation, you're not alone. And I say that respectfully. You went to go check on the apartment, whatever the case may be, before you actually got the apartment. It was pretty decent or whatever the case may be. You asked the person who shows you the apartment, the person who's supposed to be maintaining the building or whatever the case may be, and you inquire, is there any gaps or holes in the wall that need to be fixed up? They inquire to you, no. So you're looking beyond looking and you don't see nothing that's visible to see because everything is blindsided. So you're going into a blindsided situation. So you finally move in. But now when you finally move in, you're reevaluating your thought process and saying to yourself is, if I just got myself situated and moving in, something is not right with them being right at the end of the day, and you only been there for less than a month. So you start to see things a little off. You start to see drops from rodents. You start to see roaches on top of roaches and trying to figure out where they coming from. And you're reevaluating your thought process and saying to yourself is, hold on, wait, pause. Why is it there? And you're saying, wait, hold on, wait. Whoa. What's going on? What then going on? So something tells you to clean up your, like, when you know when you want those type of clean people, you don't have to clean because you know where everything is at and you know how you keep yourself well kept. So you saying to yourself is, let me remove certain things from certain areas. Let me see something. And when you want those type of people, before you move in, you don't put furniture in your crib. When you know. Because you got to detox the crib before you actually put furniture in the crib. Because this is what they try to do. They would try to manipulate your character, try to disrespect you, and act like you the one who brought the rodents and rats or whatever the case may be with you. They would try to manipulate your character and act like it was you that brought it in. And it wasn't you the whole entire time. It was them kind of cover their ass up. And it's messed up how people really do this stuff. It's so sad and disturbing. You take people money and you manipulate their character and then you try to play victim at the end of the day. And then you sit there, oh, I just work for the company. So if you just work for the company, why are you not doing your job? It's the mindset for me. You ever walked into a closet, then reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, you know how when you just look in a closet, you don't really look in the closet? Like to look on the floor of a closet when you move in somewhere, like you're not really thinking like that. Like when it's one of those type of small, like when it's one of those small closets, and it's like a blind side. Like you know how you got the four corners like this, the square? So you see, but you don't see nothing visibly. So you remove everything out of the closet within that closet, right? And some says walk inside the closet. God is saying walk inside that closet. No, I'm doing this. I'm doing it today. God is saying walk inside this closet. I'm about to show you something. So God is telling you to walk inside this closet, right? You walk inside this closet. While you look down and there's a hole in the wall. And you address it to the management company. And the first thing they saying is to you, okay, we'll fix it up. They say to you is, if you have any holes in your floors or in any holes in your wall, we will always patch them up. And you saying to yourself, always patch them up. What do you mean always patch them up? Like, what are you talking about? So now that's registered in your head. You're not thinking nothing of it, right? So that one hole that you saw was closed. You closed that, it got closed, right? So now you reevaluate your thought process, saying to yourself is, if that hole was there, that means it's something else got to be in here. It got to be something in here, right? If it ain't one hole, it's another hole. Being as a blind-sided hole, it got to be another blind-sided hole. So you keep insisting. You know when you have those long ass radiators, the long ones that's on the floor, the long ones? And you saying to yourself is, when a person that's supposed to be coming to do their job, you inquiring and telling them, could you please move that radiator and see if there's holes in the wall? They are so persistent and they're telling you no, 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 no. So they can manipulate you. Mind you, you ain't even been there for over 6 months. You ain't even been there for over 4 months, and you having these problems. The first month you peeped it, with them peeping it. And you kept saying some was drawing you to the radiator. Some kept drawing you to that radiator. And when you finally got to the radiator, guess what? On each side of the radiator, the hole was about this big. So you mean to tell me, in a month of 4 months, 4 months, right? That a mouse did that in 4 months. It takes a mouse a long time to connect from the other side, or wherever they coming from, to make a hole from the other side to the other side to actually get to where you at. And I say that respectfully. So I don't know who face you thought you was playing at the end of the day. It's the mindset for me. How these people will sit there and manipulate your character for something that you truly not at the end of the day. It's crazy and delusional at the end of the day. And then when you speak up for yourself, you're wrong. And then come to find out, it's been going on for years. Before you even moved in, they've been having a rodent infestation problem. And mind you, before you moved in, the apartment has not been occupied in over a year. So that means nobody has been maintaining the apartment for over a year. And when you first moved in the apartment, you realized to reevaluate your thought process in the day. You already gave these people your money. You already got your keys. Right? Okay, fine and dandy. But what they try to do is try to make you feel comfortable, right? It's like your thought process. But then when they realize that at the end of the day, that everybody's not for play at the end of the day. And not in a toxic and disrespectful way. But what is right, what's wrong is wrong. The same way you want rent money is the same way you should fix what needs to be fixed within the apartment. And I say that respectfully. But you want to play mind manipulation games, right? And then the first thing they want to say to you is when things need to be fixed, or there's cracks in the is cracks in the walls within cracks in the walls, because now this is where the bug infestation problem is coming from. And you're telling them like, hey, could you please close up these holes in the wall, these gaps in the walls? The man is saying to you, or the woman is saying to you is, oh, it's not a problem. Ain't nothing gonna happen. It's nothing wrong. It's okay. You gotta go purchase stuff on your own now to fix these gaps in the wall because somebody refused to do their job, and you refuse to live uncomfortably because at the end of the day, you done signed a contract with the devil. Unfortunately, you did. Because they psyched you out the thought process and they try to manipulate your character. It's the mindset for me. So you addressing all these things that need to be addressed once they done took your money after the fact. You addressing all these things now, right? And the first thing they want to say to you is, you're crazy, you're delusional, and something's wrong with you. They will have the whole entire building go against you because they don't do stuff like this. But come to find out at the end of the day, you speaking to everybody amongst everybody who's fed up. And it's been going on for years. They've been having these problems for years. So before you came in, this problem was already occurring. Down to the cameras not working. They manipulate a lie. They try to rob you. They try to rob you. They have staff members saying they threatening your life. This is how wicked these people are. They were threatening your life. And then when you speak up for yourself, you're wrong. Going to talk about, I will have the whole entire building go against you. Do it. I don't care. The people don't put no fear in my heart. Nobody should put fear in nobody's heart at the end of the day. When you speaking up for yourself and you telling the truth. Because at the end of the day, should be no reason for you to lie. When somebody's trying to discredit your character for something that you truly not. And I say that respectfully. So, you ever been in a situation where you had to reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, why are they playing in my face today? So, they say to you is, I'm going to send the super to your apartment, right? Now, mind you, listen to this. They said, I'm going to send the super to your apartment to fix whatever needs to be fixed within your apartment. They said, I'm not, they never said nothing about nothing written up or nothing on piece of paper. They said, whatever needs to be fixed, that's what the living super is for them to come to your apartment and fix what needs to be fixed within the apartment. That's what they're there for, right? I'm confused why they have living supers if they're not going to do their job, or if they're going to do a half-ass job at the end of the day, and make a problem within a problem that, oh, I just work for the company, but your jurisdiction, your boss has told you to do something and you refusing to do it, and then you go back to your boss and say, oh, that person's just crazy, ain't nothing wrong, or it's nothing wrong, it's nothing wrong, it's nothing wrong with an apartment. You ever had to reevaluate your thought process to just come to terms where you have to be calm and cool and collected with yourself? Because at the end of the day, every reaction don't need a response, and you have to be able to maintain your mind state to be able to talk to these people the right way and not scoop to their level at the end of the day. No, respectfully, you cannot scoop to their level, because what's going to happen is you're going to come out of character, say something that you're not going to regret saying it. No, because you going to mean what you say what you mean, because they playing in your face. But at the same time, too, you don't scoop to nobody's level. That at the end of the day, that ain't even worth your time. Because at the end of the day, they only play in their own face. And I say that respectfully. Say, for instance, you move in somewhere. You see the toilet is looking a certain kind of way before you moved in. You inquired about the toilet or whatever the case may be. They say it's just scratches. But it's not just scratches. It's shit growing out of this toilet now. What the fuck is that? I'm not putting my ass over that. Are you crazy? No. I'm going to get a bucket until you give me a new toilet. And that's on God. And that's what happened. And that was on God. Going to say, you crazy. You're delusional. Oh, so you mean to tell me every time I try to clean this toilet, it should be no reason why something is foaming and growing back? What is that? And then they sitting there telling their staff members in front of their staff members that this person is, and they labeling this person, and at the end of the day, they not no doctor. They not no doctor, but they quick to sit here and label somebody at the end of the day. It's the mindset for me. You're doing too much out of your job description. You're doing too much out of your job description. And being that you're doing too much out of your job description, you need to stay in your lane and respect yourself and respect your neighbor at the end of the day. Because your neighbor didn't come for you at the end of the day. You're supposed to be doing your job, and you're supposed to be a supervisor at the end of the day. How dare you? How dare you? I said what I just said what I said, respectfully. You people are weird. Like, you know what's so crazy when it comes to management companies or even private owned people at the end of the day? It's the mindset for me. Y'all don't want to fix something. Y'all want to manipulate somebody's character at the end of the day. Y'all want to psych someone their thought process when it comes to fixing something, but you quick to take somebody's money. You quick to take somebody's money, regardless if it's a program, regardless if it's cash or not at the end of the day. It don't matter. That's still a human being because you are a human being, and you wouldn't want nobody to play in your face at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. You wouldn't want nobody to play in your face. Respectfully. It's the mindset for me. And you wouldn't want nobody to play in your family member's face. And I say that respectfully. So at the end of the day, because you have a job title, stay in your lane and do your job as your job description that you was trained to do. You wasn't trained to disrespect people. And if that is the case, I need to speak to somebody who trained you to disrespect people, because that's not the norm to disrespect your consumer or disrespect your tenant at the end of the day. It's not part of the contract. It's not part of what I signed or somebody signed, that the innocent person signed when they signed over a contract to you and saying that they wanted to rent something from you at the end of the day. It's the mindset for me. You ever had to reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, you ever had a leak in a leak in your ceiling or something, or just a water bubble in your wall or something, or whatever the case may be, and you mention it to them, right? You mention it to them. Mind you, you only been there not even a month, and you're already having these problems. So you go into a situation blindsided, like they just gave you the key, took your money, and said, have a nice day. And now when you are addressing these situations, the first thing they want to do is blame you. They're blaming you because of the water coming in the wall. How, ma'am, sir? I'm sleeping, minding my business. It should be no reason. You turned the apartment over to me, and at the end of the day, it never rained till this specific day. It should be no reason why water is coming in the apartment. It should be no reason why. Like, make it make sense at the end of the day. Hello is the mindset for me. And then you want to sit here trying to manipulate somebody at the end of the day? And then you quick to say, oh, I'm just doing my job. So if you're just doing your job, do your job and stop talking so much. At the end of the day, and then you're going back to your supervisor saying you did your job, or then you're going back to say your supervisor, is something wrong with whatever that person is saying. And then you quick to say, I'm going to have the whole entire building or have people go against you. And you know what's so funny when you come across the right one? Because it's very important. It's very important. When you move into establishments and it's only temporary, remember, it's only temporary. It's not long term, it's temporary. Always remember that. When you move into somebody's establishment that's not yours, it's temporary. When you sign a contract at the end of the day, be sure to read your contract. Because if your contract don't say the things that's unexpectedly, you have the right to speak up for yourself. And they have the right to fix it. And when somebody tries to manipulate your character for something that you truly not, because you're standing up for yourself, don't feel bad and don't be wrong for speaking up for yourself. But it's a way you speak up for yourself. You don't have to be disrespectful with words to prove a point at the end of the day. To scoop to somebody's level that doesn't understand coherency. That can't be on the same page at the end of the day. It's the monster for me. It's the language barrier. It's the, it's what's so crazy? They say it's violence. It's not violence. It's the language barrier for me. To be able to understand somebody at the end of the day, you got to be on the same page as them. And at the end of the day, for you to manipulate somebody, you're not on the same page as them. Because if you was on the same page as them, you will understand at the end of the day, when somebody is addressing something to you, if there's water coming in from the outside, because they don't want to get caught up in their trouble. They don't want to get in trouble for what they just did. It's the mindset for me. It's bigger than this now. It really is, because of the fact that regardless of how old you are, it don't matter about your age. It don't matter about the color of your skin, if you're disabled or not. Because this is what they do to people. This is what they do to people, period. And like I said, it's only a temporary situation. And when you know you're in a temporary situation at the end of the day, you know you need to, you want better for yourself. You want better for yourself. You want to elevate to get out of these type of environments. Like, for real, you want better to get out of these type of environments, because it should be no reason why the next person should allow you to feel unworthy of yourself or allow you to feel like you got to sweat them for them to do their job. You shouldn't sweat nobody to do their job that they're supposed to do their job. Within that contract, it says they're supposed to do the repairs within that apartment if there's something needs to be fixed within that apartment. You know, they get fines for when you start to report them. They start to get fines when they don't do what they need to do. You know, it's the mindset for me. And it's so disrespectful and discriminating that you can speak up for yourself and you can say something about something, and then they say to you is, nothing is wrong with it. It's like this. You ever dealt with discrimination before in your living environment? When you know, and you know that you're being picked on at the end of the day because people are haters in disguise? No, for real. It should be no reason why you walking out your door and there's trash in front of your door. You didn't put it there. And it's so funny how you didn't put it there, but it's kind of funny how nobody still moved it. And it's going over a week now. And nobody still moved the trash from in front of the door. It should be no reason why you walking out your door walking into trash. Should it be? No, it should not be. Especially when you didn't put it there. And especially when you have a living super that's supposed to maintain the building on a frequently basis, right or wrong. That's what I thought they supposed to do. Because I know when I spoke to a real genuine super who loves his community, right? He said, I go on my floors every single day to make sure all my floors is good. Because not only do I love my building and I love myself, but I love the people in my community. That's what he said. And that's what she said. It should be no reason. If I'm the living super, it's supposed to be maintained at all times. Because at the end of the day, it falls back on me as a bad person. And I'm not that person. I don't want to be labeled as that person. I'm saying to myself as well, not everybody's the same. You know, you got good supers and you got supers who just don't care. And you got supers who pick on people. And then those supers who pick on people, and they manipulate other people and act like they didn't say certain things at the end of the day. Like doing their job. You ever had somebody say they was going to come do their job and you got them on recording? Because sometimes you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be labeled called crazy at the end of the day. And especially when they try to play the crazy card against you. Ma'am, sir said, hey, I'm going to come fix your apartment this certain day. When will you be home? And you say to yourself, it's etc. day. They say, okay, no problem. Why they get there and they coming out of your apartment 10 times? Why are you coming out of my apartment 10 times for? What are you doing? What do you got planned? It's the mindset for me. And what you're fixing at the end of the day, it should be no reason Why are you even coming in and out of my apartment that many times? You know, when a person moves like that, they're scouting out your apartment. They're trying to figure you out. They sizing you up. And then when you reevaluate your thought process, you're not wrong. You was right. You ever had a management company where you had to protect yourself against and reevaluate your thought process? They was against you, not for you. And then they try to play the discrimination. They try to play victim at the end of the day. And play the discrimination card and say that something is wrong with you because they don't want to do their job. You ever ask somebody, inquire somebody because they told somebody to do their job and they pumped their chest at you like they wanted to fight you? And you reevaluating your thought process and saying to yourself is, wow, this is how y'all really move real life? And now you're saying to yourself is, now you gotta say something to the management company because something happens to me, I gotta protect myself. At all costs, I gotta protect myself. And just for them to turn around and say at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my staff members regardless. That's discrimination. That's discrimination. That is discrimination. And I say that respectfully. That is discrimination. That is discrimination. That is discrimination. Respectfully, that is discrimination. And then when you say you got proof on stuff, now the conversation changes. Now the conversation changes. Why does the conversation change now? Why the conversation change? Because I got proof? Why? Because it's not he say, she say no more? Huh? It's not he say, she say no more, huh? Okay. So now that the person got proof at the end of the day, now y'all on your toes. Now y'all want to be on your P's and Q's now, right? When somebody, let me tell you something. When you sign a contract with somebody and you temporarily moving somewhere at the end of the day, be always sure to thoroughly look. It's not even about a desperate moment to move somewhere. It has nothing to do about that. Respectfully. Because people will allow you to walk into a situation blindsided. Just like a toxic-ass relationship. You ain't know that person was toxic. They fooled the hell out of you. Right or wrong. When you least expected. They act like they were so in tune with you. Years later, now you reevaluate your thought process. Now you 6 feet under. Trying to figure out how did this happen. No, respectfully, because it happens like that. Be careful when you let people play in your face. And it don't matter who it is. Because people do the most weirdest stuff. And then when you checkmate them, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're so wrong. You're so wrong. Like, how am I wrong for speaking up for myself? And then you're going to threaten me and tell me you're going to have everybody go against me? But hold on, wait. You ever had to reevaluate your thought process with reevaluate your thought process? You know how when you live in one of those buildings and you got to use the key or whatever the case may be? So, you're using the key. And you can't get in the building. You're trying to figure out why you can't get in the building. And you saying to yourself is, didn't everybody else use the same door that I'm using? Like, ain't nobody saying nothing? Like, I'm so confused. Like, am I the only one here or something? Like, I'm confused. Like, am I in my own little world or something? Like, am I like I'm confused with them being confused. Like, you can't get in the building either. Okay, so you reevaluate your thought process. Everybody was getting buzzed in, right? So they get in the building. Mind you, it don't matter if you live by yourself or you don't live by yourself. When you live somewhere the day, you should be able to put your key in the door and have access to that key. It should be no reason why you got to live in super and you're not able to get in that door. Come to find out, everybody having conversations amongst each other and they saying, oh, the door has not been working for a whole week. So you mean to tell me at the end of the day that the door has not, that key door has not been working for a whole week and nobody has not said nothing yet, even the person who works in the building? Sounds a little suspicious to me. Sounds like somebody was trying to size somebody up, if you ask me. Because at the end of the day, easy access, right? Anybody can get in the building and size somebody up and line them up, right or wrong. It's the mindset for me. And then they say to you is, how did you know? Oh, how did you know? Oh. You know, it's so crazy how people try to play mind manipulation game with people. And it's sad. It's so sad. It's so sad and disturbing. It's sad. So, your neighbors, they say to you is, hey, you know, I've been trying to put my key in the door for the last couple of days, you know, and it hasn't been working. Well, I say, neighbor, did you call the people or whatever? Or matter of fact, did you go speak to your friend, you know, the friend? Nobody says nothing. Nobody's saying nothing. That's a safety hazard. That's number one. Because anybody could get access into that building and hurt anybody at the end of the day. And nobody's thinking of that. But everybody has children. Everybody has family members at the end of the day. But until something happens, then everybody's on their P's and Q's to be on the respect side and be on the same side at the end of the day. And understand where the next person is coming from. But at the same time, too, they labeling somebody crazy and delusional. Until something happens, then you understand the assignment within the assignment at the end of the day. Our safety comes first. Our safety comes first. No cameras work, so we can't point out who did it. It's the mindset for me. And then when you're addressing things within addressing things, oh, but your cameras don't even work to even point out what's going on and to know at the end of the day that your employees are not doing their job. So you can't even see, okay, what day this happened and what day this transpired when this person was supposed to take out the garbage. You can't even see on the camera when they took out the garbage. So you reach out to the maintenance department. Not the maintenance department. You reach out to the company, the tenant. You reach out to the company, whatever case, right? You reach out to them, and you say to them, "Hey, how you doing? Good day." But ma'am, sir, ain't nothing wrong with my key. But everybody's saying that it's been over a week since this door has not been working. Over a week. I'm confused as to how do you have somebody who's working in a building that lives in the building and nobody's able to get access to the door. And they only been using the bell. Hello? Make it make sense, ma'am, sir. But when somebody speaks up for themselves, they're crazy and they delusional, right? Oh, I just work for the company. If you just work for the company, the same way you work for the company, you live in the building. How do you not have access to open the door at the end of the day? Friday done bypass, Monday done bypass, all these days done bypass, and you and your other colleague, y'all work in the same building, and you mean to tell me at the end of the day, nobody saw it for what it was, or y'all had a plan within the plan to size somebody up? To make it seem like anybody could just get access to the building. And then you stand there as somebody's fixing the door and you're sitting there like you're looking shocked because you're putting on a show in front of everybody else. When everybody sees right through you because you're full of shit. The same way you said, oh, I'm going to have the whole entire building go against you or whatever the case may be. The same way you saying that, the whole entire building will go against you. As simple as that. You know why? Because you playing in the wrong person's face. And at the end of the day, when a person don't have to lie or manipulate a situation, and at the end of the day, they don't have to prove themselves. Because facts on top of facts is facts. It's the mindset for me. You ever been in a situation where you had to reevaluate your thought process when you living somewhere? And you say to yourself, is when you go to the management company or whatever the case may be, and you addressing something, and they take you as your word don't mean nothing to them. They don't even want to be there themselves. So they brushing you off. And you trying to reevaluate your thought process, like, I need to speak to somebody with common sense. It's either the language barrier or it's the common sense part that they don't understand. Like, I'm not understanding. Like, how you don't have common sense and it's the language barrier for me? You're supposed to be able to have both of them when you're dealing with consumers. Common sense and language barrier when you're dealing with different diversity of people, cultures. You're supposed to have common sense and you're supposed to be able to communicate properly. I'm not understanding why the communication is off. It should be no reason why the communication is off. No reason at all. Not even a little bit. It should be never a no one-sided situation at the end of the day when a consumer or a tenant is coming to you and addressing something at the end of the day. And you don't have common sense. Just like this. You go to the management company. Hey, how you doing? My water is off. I don't see any signs visible so I can physically see it with my own eyes. I just came home from work, minding my goddamn business. I'm trying to start my day so I can wash my ass and complete my day. They saying to you is, I didn't have time to put signs up. Okay. But you had time to turn the water off. Regardless if it was an emergency or not, that sounds like a real personal issue if you ask me. And you know why it sounds like a personal issue at the end of the day? Because if it was an emergency issue, the tenants and the consumer is supposed to be aware that it's an emergency going on within the building or wherever they're at. They're supposed to be aware of their surroundings at the end of the day. If it's an emergency purposes. If it's emergency purposes at the end of the day, the consumer or the tenant is supposed to be aware of themselves and aware of what's going on around their surroundings. God forbid something was supposed to expand within expanding of happening at that time frame, regardless if you turn the water off or not, or regardless to whatever just transpired within transpired. It don't even have to be the water issue. It's called respect at the end of the day. The same way you take somebody's money at the end of the day, the same way you sign into somebody's job, when you cash your check, right? That's somebody else's payroll, not your payroll. So at the end of the day, you want somebody else's timing. And being that you don't respect somebody else's timing, you showing them that you don't respect them. And I say that respectfully. You showing a person who gives you your check every day, who you work for every day, and that you get a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, you showing them that you don't even respect them. And I say that respectfully because at the end of the day, you work for the people. You work for the community. You work for the consumer. And I say that respectfully. It's the mindset for me. And then you sitting there addressing it, and they're saying to you, somebody with common sense, she was like, he or she saying, you know what, you're absolutely right, ma'am, sir. You're right. It should be signs up stating that the water is off, stating that it's an emergency issue going on within the building. There's a gas issue going on within the building. A gas issue going on within the building. So now, being that there's no signs going around, right? And there's a gas issue going on within the building, right? There's a gas issue going on within the building. Say somebody go and cook, and they told somebody not to turn their stove on. How is that person supposed to know not to turn their goddamn stove on at the end of the day when there was no signs up? But they quick to say, I just work for the company. So now your supervisor, whoever's the person that owns this company, they're looking at you like, why did you put the signs up? They're right. The tenant is right. Why didn't you put the signs up? Person gonna say, I didn't have time. So now everybody's rewriting their thought process, then rewriting their thought process, saying how you don't have time when you standing there watching somebody fix a lock, right? Mind you, you watching your own supervisor fix a lock. Or you watching somebody from a company fix a lock that this is your regular person that comes in on a daily to fix things around in your neighborhood, right? Fix a lock and you standing there, he bending down, fixing the lock and you standing over him. Why are you standing over that man for? You could be putting up a sign. That takes you less than 60 seconds. Let alone you should have signs already printed out so you can just put stickers on it and post them up. But you're wrong for going to the management company and addressing the management company, why aren't there signs up? Or God forbid, something was to happen within happening and nobody did their job. But you're wrong for speaking up for yourself. It's the blindside situation for me. For somebody to move somewhere and not even be there for over 5 months or 4 months at the end of the day. And they had problems going on with them problems, cameras not working already, all these toxic things going on before this person even moved in. And then when a person moves in and a person stands up for themselves and speak up for themselves, they say this person is crazy and delusional. All because they speaking up for themselves. And they don't want to get caught up in a bull crap. Because they got caught up and they trying to cover up what they just did. And it's too late because the damage is done. Because you came across the right one. Nah, for real, it's the mindset for me. It's the mindset for me. That's just like saying this. You have an elevator where you live at, right? If the elevator is out of order, it's supposed to be a sign up, right? Saying the elevator is out of order. Calm courtesy, respect to the consumer, the tenant, right? Because you have people who are elderly, disabled. You know, you have tenants. You have consumers that live in the building where they pay their rent at. Ain't it common courtesy at the end of the day to tell the tenant at the end of the day it don't work? Instead of them just standing there looking, okay, well, it just don't work. And then when you address them and they say to you that the person who works in the building, they say to you, or the company say to you is, Yeah, the elevator's out. So when was somebody going to say something? Then they say to you is, oh, well, the super or the maintenance person was supposed to put signs up. But they didn't. And they're blaming you for their responsibilities at the end of the day. And they blame, now what happens is, now everybody blaming each other. This is what happens. They start to blame each other now. Because now everybody is figuring out at the end of the day, like, oh, shoot, we done messed up big time. So now everybody got to point the finger at each other. Well, no, they told me to do this. No, they told me to do that. No, this is my job description. No, this is what I was only supposed to do. I'm only supposed to take notes. But then they reevaluate their thought process and say to themselves is, hold on, wait. You got a tenant that you just gave over keys to, right? And black and white in the email, it says, if you ever have maintenance issues within your apartment, always reach out to the super. You don't need a paperwork to be filled out to do maintenance repairs. Oh, you forgot that part. Hello, how you doing? And guess what? Not only is it in black and white, but they said it multiple times over the phone. Okay? And not only that, you got the recordings. You got all the recordings. Because what they try to do is, they try to point fingers at each other and say, no, this person told me to do this. This person told me to do that. That's not my job description. 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 And then they quick to say is, I'm going to have the entire building go against you. Do it. When you your own army, you don't care. It's the thought process for me. Hello? It's the mindset for me. Like, make it make sense. Ma'am, sir. Come on. It's the mindset for me. Like, it's sad and disturbing to see that today's society, when it comes to these slumlords and these people who don't want to do their job, but they quit to cash their check. Play victim. They play victim. Somebody assigns you to do a job. You're supposed to go in there and do your job properly. You don't go in there to do a job and manipulate the consumer or the tenant. You don't do that. And then when the consumer and the tenant speaks up for themselves and they reevaluate the conversation, and then the supervisor's coming to you telling you, well, he told me, she told me that nothing is wrong with your apartment. Okay. And then they try to manipulate your character and say, oh, how long you been here already for? You did that. Okay. But then when they reevaluate their thought process, to say to themselves is, we can't blame the tenant, we can't blame the consumer, because the consumer and the tenant don't have furniture in their apartment. So where is it coming from? And they're a very clean person. They're a very clean person. When you move into somewhere, I'm going to say this respectfully, it don't matter if it's your own establishment or not. You never put furniture in ASAP. Never. You never put furniture in there automatically. You don't. Because you're going to have a problem within a problem. Then you're going to have stuff growing in your furniture. And that's why people buy furniture every year. That's the problem right there. That's why people buy furniture every year. Think about it. It's not hard to think about. Because it's stuff growing inside their furniture. It's eggs hatching in their furniture. You'd be surprised. You'd be real surprised. You know, and it's more sad because if you were a senior citizen, like, it's sad that they don't have people to defend them. They don't have people to speak up for them. You know, they have people just to manipulate their character. And it's very few of people who will speak up for these people and guide them the right way. You know, and not everybody has a good heart, because not everybody means well. You know, everybody's for themselves, and that's okay. It's not a problem. But at the end of the day, come on, make it make sense at the end of the day. You wouldn't want nobody playing in your face. You wouldn't want nobody playing in your family face at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully, regardless if it's a temporary situation or a long-term situation at the end of the day. You wouldn't want nobody playing in your face. For real. You wouldn't. And especially to keep up the same behavior, you're not trying to change. You still keep going on with the same behavior. It's one thing when you're trying to change as a person, but when you don't want to try to change as a person, that energy hit different. To sit there and disrespect somebody because they're trying to show for themselves, it's the monster for me. And then You have a management company that disrespects the consumers and the tenants because they speaking up for themselves. So I will fight you. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. All of that. Like, wait, what? Hold on. Come outside. Come outside with that energy. Yeah, come outside. Like, it's the mindset for me. Like, why do we have to do that to prove a point at the end of the day? But since you want to antagonize somebody, come outside. You the one who say if you want to fight. You say you will fuck somebody up, drag somebody, come outside. And then when you come outside, you ain't ready for that time, and you ain't ready for that ass whooping. Because when you get that ass whoop, you're going to be reevaluating your thought process. I should have kept my mouth shut. Yeah, you should have kept your mouth real shut. Because you done came across the right one at the end of the day. Because not everybody's a play. Not everybody's a play. You see everybody coming amongst each other, whatever case may be, to get things situated and make sure everything is right within their home or whatever case may be. You sit there talking to the receptionist and trying to get things situated. Like, what's going on? What's up? So I don't got time for this shit today. Ma'am, sir, excuse you? Then you clock into work. Who are you? Like, you must be invisible. I don't see you. I don't see you. Nope, I don't see you. But I see you. Because you're not invisible. But you know how to disrespect somebody, though. How you disrespecting somebody? You coming up and you supposed to be showing up for work. That's not professional. Ain't nothing professionalism about you. Nothing. And then you sitting there disrespecting consumers and tenants. It's the mindset for me. Like, would you want somebody to do that to you and your family? Telling your mother that they gonna fuck your mother up, beat the shit out of your mother because your mother is coming to talk about a water leakage in her apartment or something, or there's cracks in the floor. You know how, like, when you move somewhere and in case people, like, when you live in certain buildings or whatever, they got towels on the floor, right? And you address the towel situation. You're like, listen, there's cracks in the towels or whatever the case may be. It needs to be replaced. The super telling you ain't nothing wrong with the floors. So you mean to tell me at the end of the day, if I trip on these floors because there's cracks in the floors, at the end of the day, you're responsible for it. And the first thing they're trying to say is you're delusional, you're crazy. But this is the problem. When you maintain that, when you in an establishment and you have workers and they supposed to be in a certain department, like the maintenance department, and these supposed to be your main people that are supposed to be maintaining these apartments, it's called maintaining for a reason. You're supposed to maintain them for a reason. And then you're quick to sit here and point fingers at each other. Well, this person's supposed to do their job. This person's supposed to do their job. Like little fucking kids. Like, come on, man. Make it make sense. Y'all going back and forth with each other like little kids. But y'all quick to take somebody's money, though. Y'all quick to take somebody's money. And disrespect them on top of that. And then when they speak up for themselves, you're quick to say, I'm going to have a whole entire community go against one person. And at the end of the day, that person's not the only one who feel like that either. It's multiple other people who's feeling the same way too. But then you say you're going to have one whole entire building go against one person? Cause I'm gonna make them not believe what you saying that's coming out your mouth. I don't care if they believe me or at the end of the day. Recordings don't lie, boo. I don't go off of he say, she say. I go off of facts. And I go off of God. You ever walked out your apartment one day and it was trash in front of your door? And you didn't put it there. You didn't put it there. And everybody else's door is fine. Ain't no trash in front of nowhere. And you trying to reevaluate your thought process saying yourself is, hold on, wait, pause. Why am I walking into trash for? Somebody purposely put that there. And then when you speak up for yourself, you're wrong. When you speak up for yourself, you're wrong. You're crazy. You're delusional. And they're quick to label you because you're speaking up for yourself. And because you're speaking up for yourself at the end of the day, now that you're speaking up for yourself, now everybody looking at you, pointing the finger at you like you're the one that's the instigator. You're the one that's causing all the problems over here. How? Why is that there? I didn't put that there. Move it. The same way you cleaned everywhere else, clean it. Ain't nobody else's door, when they walk out their door, is trash in front of their door. That discrimination stuff is real. Discrimination is so real, yo. People be so threatened by you because you're at peace with yourself and you can love and respect yourself and you can stand up for yourself at the end of the day. And people don't like that shit. People really don't like it. They so threatened and jealous by your energy, they don't like it because you speak up for yourself at the end of the day. And it's not a crime to speak up for yourself in a healthy, not toxic way. You don't have to disrespect somebody to prove a point. You don't have to go back and forth with somebody to prove a point at the end of the day, especially when somebody already threatens your life. When somebody threatens your life already, that you have to be on your P's and Q's at all times. You're going to have the whole entire building go against one person? That's a threat. That's a threat. When you say you're going to have a whole entire building go against one person, that's a threat. And I say that respectfully, that's a threat. So you mean to tell me you're going to have the whole entire building hurt somebody at the end of the day? That's what you basically saying. At your word. Whatever you say jump, they gonna jump. That's what you just told somebody. You just basically came out your mouth and said that. When I'm gonna have the whole entire building go against you and allow you to look stupid. But the only person face you playing it is your own face. Because at the end of the day, this one person's their own army at the end of the day. And they don't gotta go for he say, she say. They go for facts. And I say that respectfully. So you basically saying you're going to have a whole entire building go against one person. So when you basically say that, you basically saying that you will have a whole person, a whole entire building go against one person to hurt one person. At your word. Because you call shots around here. That's what you're saying. So when that person moves a certain kind of way and they don't speak to people for reasons, for many of reasons at the end of the day, because they got to protect their energy from the devil like you. Because you said some shit like that. You going to have the whole entire building go against somebody. The whole entire building know how I am. They know I don't move like that. Oh, they don't? Oh, really? Okay. You showed yourself multiple times. Trust and believe that. And one thing that innocent person don't have to do is lie or manipulate your character at the end of the day. For what? It's not benefiting them at all. Especially when something's not benefiting them. No, it's called respect. Respect is a two-way street. If you can't respect somebody, you got to walk it alone. And I say that respectfully. So respect is a two-way street. You ever been in an environment where you had to reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, I love myself to know at the end of the day, I ain't going to have nobody play in my face. You know, they take advantage of people who live by themselves. And it's sad and disturbing. And they pick and choose who they want to pick on. And it's so crazy because at the end of the day, one thing that innocent person don't have to do is lie because they go off of facts. And one thing they don't have to do is lie and they just go off of facts. And what I'm saying to you is now, being that they're going off of facts and they got the proof to prove it, it's sad and disturbing to see that you would still sit there and try to antagonize that person. And then you say to that person, don't ever say nothing to me. Okay, no problem. No problem. You act like I want to have a conversation with you anyway. Why? Because you don't want to do your job? You act like that's hurting somebody's feelings at the end of the day. No. But it's sad and disturbing when somebody lives by themselves and people try to size them up. And I mean size them up. Because what they did was, this is what they do. When they try to size you up. When they think you're not looking, when they think you're not watching, right? Or you think you're not listening. Listen, this is what they do. They come into your apartment, right? They go through your drawers. And you say something about, like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're not sorry. Why are you sizing me up for? Somebody's supposed to come into your apartment to fix something, right? When you want those type of people who are a very clean person, when you're a very, very clean person, and you know somebody's coming into your apartment, you tape up your refrigerator. You tape up your fucking refrigerator. And why I say tape up your refrigerator? Because you don't want nobody dirty ass putting a stinking ass in your refrigerator. So you get sick and figure out why you sick. Or put something in your goddamn food. I'm saying that respectfully. He gonna say, she gonna say, why is the refrigerator taped? Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. You doing too much. They supposed to be coming in here and fixing something in here. What do you mean? And they paying for a reason, right? If they come in here paying, I'm entitled to do what the fuck I want to do. If I want to tape my motherfucking refrigerator up, I'm going to tape it up. It's the mindset for me. If you got somebody coming in and out of your home and they painting or they doing construction, whatever the case may be, and you one of those type of people, when you know, tape your fucking refrigerator up. Tape your shit up. Tape your fridge up. And especially when they start moving your shit or whatever the case may be, because they gotta move stuff around. So when you know they gotta open it, so before they try to open your door of your refrigerator, it's already closed. So they won't be able to contaminate anything into your food products and stuff or whatever the case may be. It's like your thought process on your freedom. It's the mindset for me. How these people sit here and manipulate your character and disrespect you and then play victim like nothing, like, oh, she's crazy, she's delusional, he's crazy, he's delusional, la 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 la. What? Why? Because they speaking up for themselves? Oh, they one of them type of people. One of what type of people? Who speak up for themselves? How dare you? How dare you? That's mad rude and disrespectful at the end of the day. And then you sit there and play victim. It's the mindset for me, yo. It's really the mindset for me. When you dealing with these private companies and these slumlords and these slumlords workers, be mindful to take names. Be mindful to make sure you got the exact dates that they came into your apartment. Be mindful to record if you need to record, because people try to manipulate your character and say that they didn't say this, they didn't say that, and all types of shit. Be mindful when you have these people come into your apartments, like, or whatever. When you live in somewhere temporary, be mindful, because these people will try to play in your face, yo. They would try to play in your face, and when they playing in the right person's face, all you gotta do is proof. I got proof. Here you go. This happened this day. This happened that day. This happened this day. This happened that day. I got all my documents. I got all my paperwork right here. It's sad, yo. Why do we have to live like this? Especially when you're trying to get yourself together. When you know it's a temporary situation. It should be no reason why a temporary situation is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. Not just uncomfortable, but it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable to the point where you're doing extra stuff out of your regular your daily routine besides getting yourself together so you can get out of the temporary situation. It's stopping your progress from you allowing yourself to grow in a temporary situation. A temporary situation is a temporary situation for a reason. It's not long term. And living in somebody's apartment building is not long term. And I say that respectfully. No disrespect to nobody. Because when you have that mindset at the end of the day, that you want better for yourself, you don't see yourself in an apartment building for the rest of your life. And especially in a slumlord's building that don't care or respect you for who you are. And they can take your money and disrespect you when they feel like it. And I say that respectfully. It's the mindset for me. And then when you speak up for yourself, you're wrong. And everybody else know what's going on at the end of the day, that this type of demeanor been going on for years. Everybody know all this stuff been going on for years, but nobody said nothing to the person who moved in. The person who moved in they figured it out less than 60 seconds. Like, this is bullshit. They knew they walked into they knew they walked into a blindsided situation, dealing with a slumlord and they employees that don't want to work but have excuses as to point the finger as to who's supposed to do this, who's supposed to do that. It's sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's sad. It really is. It's sad. It's sad, bro. It's mad sad. That's like, your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, any of your family members or whatever the case may be. They become to an old age and they go into a situation blindsided and they don't have the proper help, because nobody's around, and they just by themselves. And, because life happens to everybody. People pass on. You feel what I'm saying? And they just here by themselves in this world. And they don't have nobody to defend them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have nobody to speak up for them. And then when they say something, they address certain things like somebody's gas wasn't working. They address the gas situation like, hey, my gas not working. Can you come fix it? Person go without gas for a whole couple of months. Somebody's faucet's been leaking. Water's leaking for months at a time. Nobody came to fix it. And then when you addressing it, they coming to you telling you ain't nothing wrong with the water. Just turn it off. It's turned off, but the water's still leaking, sir, ma'am. And then they going back telling their boss ain't nothing wrong with it. And you sitting there taking pictures beyond pictures. You over there taking recordings beyond recordings. Now you got people coming into your house and they like, dang, that's what you dealing with? And they sitting there manipulating that person's character. for something that they're not. They're not crazy. They're not delusional. People just don't want to do their job. You know what's so crazy? What I realized, when you come across genuine people, real people that don't play in other people's face, they don't pick and choose who face they gonna play in. Nah, not one of those type of people. And they actually mean what they say what they mean when they show up to work to do their job. When somebody gives you a building, right? And you the super, your first priority is maintaining your building. Maintaining that you have the best building in the whole block. Your building's supposed to be the best block on the block. With no excuses. Not being buddy-buddy with tenants. Not being buddy-buddy with the consumers. No, do your job. That's how you play the mind manipulation game, to go against somebody and allow somebody to believe that this person is this way and this person is that way. And the whole entire time, nobody ever got to know that innocent person for who they truly are. They only went word of mouth as to what this person just told about this person at the end of the day. That's all they know is what this person said about this person. But they forgot to mention what they did for this person to feel the way they feel at the end of the day. That they labeling as crazy and delusional. Or loco. Whatever the fuck they say. Respectfully. It's the mindset for me. Fucking out here calling people all types of shit at the end of the day. That's fucking weird. Sitting here disrespecting somebody at the end of the day. That's some bullshit. That's some real bullshit, yo. That's some real bullshit. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Because you wouldn't want nobody to do bullshit to you. You wouldn't want nobody to do that to you. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't want nobody to do that to you. You wouldn't want nobody to do that to your family at all. You wouldn't want nobody playing your face. You wouldn't know how it feels for somebody to play in you and your kid's face. You wouldn't want nobody. You ain't want nobody to do that to you. Cause let me tell you something. You can't beat everybody. You can't. You can't beat everybody. And I mean not physically. But at the same time too, when you're dealing with a child of God, that energy hit different. Cause God saw everything. God saw everything. And I say that respectfully. God saw everything. And because God saw everything, God's allowing you to believe that you just played in your own face. You just played in your own face. And then the first thing they want to say is, how did they know this was going on? Oh, that's what happens when you start to label somebody. That's what happens. People label people before they actually have a conversation with somebody. And even when you have a conversation with somebody, you still don't know somebody. No, you don't. You still don't know them. You still don't know them. You still don't know them. And I say that respectfully. You still don't know them. You still don't know them. It's the mindset for me. Like, stop playing in people's face. Stop playing in innocent people's faces. Like, for real, for real. Stop playing in innocent people's faces. It's the mindset for me. Like, for real, for real. It's the mindset for me. Like, when is enough going to be enough? Somebody's in a temporary situation, temporary living situation at the end of the day. They just trying to get their life together. Not deal with somebody else's problems at the end of the day, besides their own. You put more stuff on their plate that they need to handle at the end of the day. It's like, for real, it really is. It stops the process of their growth. And especially when they trying to heal. You know, because in these type of situations, you have people who are in temporary situations that they could be disabled and they may just came out the hospital and they have to speak up for themselves, you know, and they don't have the right, they don't have the right support to speak up for themselves. So then they got to hurry up and heal so they can be able to speak up for themselves because people playing in their face. You know how that feels? For you have to be uncomfortable, you get yourself uncomfortable. Well, are you already uncomfortable? Because you have to heal after overcoming whatever you just overcome, being in your situation, just coming out the hospital. People don't know what's really going on with you at the end of the day. But the first thing they're doing is judging you about the outside. They don't know what's going on in the inside. They only judge you on the outside. They don't know what's really going on in the inside. It's none of their business going on in the inside. That's why. It's none of their business. They quick to judge you on the outside. They don't know what's going on in the inside. You never judge a book by its cover. And I say that respectfully. You never. It's the mindset for me. How people will sit here and play in your face until you speak up for yourself. And they have to reevaluate their thought process. Because you don't go off of he say, she say. You go off of facts. You go off of facts. And I say that respectfully. You go off of facts. And because you go off of facts at the end of the day, God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. And God saw everything that everybody was doing. Everybody. The same way that man said that you got anxiety problems, you delusional, you crazy, and he ain't no doctor because you needed something fixed in your apartment at the end of the day. And one thing you don't have to do is lie or manipulate anybody's character for something that they not. And you just an innocent person just standing up for yourself. Just know God saw everything that they was doing. God saw everything. That's what people fail to realize at the end of the day. God sees everything. God sees everything that you do. God sees everything. That's why you got to protect your energy, because not everybody's serving your time. Just because someone holds the door open for you today, don't mean they're going to try to hurt you tomorrow. Just because someone says thank you to you today, don't mean they're not going to hurt you tomorrow. You never judge a book by its cover. Never. Never, never, never. Because the same way someone could sit there and say, oh, I'll help you with your stuff. Ain't no problem. I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you. But the whole entire time, they sitting there trying to line you up, trying to size you up to see how they going to hurt you. It's the mindset for me. And then they quick to say, I'm going to have the whole entire building go against you. It's the mindset for me. Oh, my people in my building, they know I don't move like that. Okay. Okay. So just like when you went into somebody's apartment, and you on recording now. You're on recording. It was gaps in the, it was cracks in the wall. And you ask them to come fix it. And they tell you, no, ain't nothing wrong with the wall. And you sitting there trying to figure out where these stuff is, where's stuff coming from and whatever it can be. And you reevaluate your thought process saying yourself is, this is where it's coming from right here. You seeing them running, you see whatever it is running in and out. So now you got to go out and go purchase your own stuff just because you don't want somebody coming in your apartment just to size you up to see what you got in your apartment. Because that's all they was doing was sizing you up because you live by yourself. Or even if you don't live by yourself, they say to you is, I got controls of the camera. Come to find out, the cameras don't work. They say to you is, never leave packages here. Never get packages delivered to this building or delivered to anywhere where you live at. No, don't get no package delivered here. You would never see your package. Oh, why? Because you going to take it? I can't go. I'm not going to be the one. They're going to say, I got control of the cameras. But I'm not going to take my time out of my day to go watch the cameras for you. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's like you telling on yourself without telling on yourself. And then come to find out, the cameras never worked from the beginning since you moved in. So they manipulated you again. They played in your face. Not only they played in your face again, but they played in their own face. And they sitting there saying, how did you know? It don't take a rocket science to figure it out. When somebody sees something weird like that, oh, I got control of the cameras. Look, keyword, I got control of the cameras. I'm not going to take my time out of my day to go look over the cameras. Mind you, if you got a security company within your facility, whatever the case may be, ain't that it's different measures to this stuff. Now just listen to this. I'm not going to take the time out of my day to look over the camera. I'm not going to take my time out of the day to look over the cameras. So if you ever miss a package at the end of the day, that's your loss. Come to find out, the cameras never work. You are the fucking camera, the walking camera. This is what these slumlords do. This is what their employees do. And then when you speak up for yourself, you're wrong. You're wrong. All because they wanted to play in the wrong person's face. No, they played in the right person's face. Because one thing a person don't have to do is lie. I go for facts, not he say, she say. It's a difference. When you don't go for he say, she say, you don't give a fuck about he say, she say. When you go for facts, that's the most powerful thing to go off of. Facts. The most powerful thing is facts. Proof. I got proof. It's the mindset for me. Be careful who face you playing in. Like, for real. Be careful who face you playing in. Especially a child of God. Because God is watching you. God is watching you. When you play in a child of God face, God sees everything that you're doing. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And it's so crazy. People don't understand. God is real. God is real. When I say that respectfully. God is real. And when I say God is real, God is real. God is real. God is real. And God sees everything. God sees everything. Just because you think God didn't see what you just did, God saw what you just did when you just played in a child of God's face. A child of God is God's camera. You know that? Do you not know that? Do you not know that? It's God's camera. So being that a child of God is God's camera at the end of the day, God is watching over that child of God. And God saw you on the other side of that child of God. Because you know why? That child of God was protected by God the whole entire time. And that child of God didn't even have to confide in God for God to know that somebody just was playing that child of God's face. Because God was right by that child of God's face, by that child of God's side this whole entire time. It's the mindset for me. Leave innocent people alone. Y'all quick to take somebody's money and then play the manipulation game. It's sad and disturbing. It really is. It don't matter what establishment it could be. At the end of the day, when you know, you know. And I say that respectfully. It don't matter if it's a temporary situation or not at the end of the day. When you ran from somebody at the end of the day, like, come on, make it make sense. Know your worth. For real. Don't let nobody play in your face. Especially if they taking your money. Regardless if it's a program or cash or not. It don't matter. You still a human being. You still human. Just like them. They're human too. And they wouldn't want nobody playing in their face. They wouldn't want nobody playing with their home arrangements. Or their money at the end of the day. But they know how to play in your face and play with your home arrangements. It's the mindset for me. It's that one-sided stuff I can't get jiggy with. Respect is a two-way street. If it's reciprocated one-sided, you gotta walk it alone. You have to. You have to. It's no, you know what I mean? Going back and forth with words, you know, cursing somebody out at the end of the day, you know, it's pointless. It really is. It's like going back and forth with words with somebody who's not gonna understand you because they don't have common sense. They don't have common sense. Because if they had common sense, they would respect you. And they would understand the assignment within the assignment at the end of the day that I was wrong for what I just did. I didn't do my job properly. Or it would never happen in the beginning. It should have been addressed when it needed to be addressed. You wouldn't want nobody playing in your kid's face or your face at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. And that goes to any slumlord, anybody who shows up to somebody else's clock in and try to point the finger at the establishment and blame the establishment at the end of the day that they can't do their job, but they cashing their checks at the end of the day and having excuse after excuse. You only playing in your own face, and I say that respectfully. I appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Not your genuine love, respect. Love yourself with God's protection for every direction. Protect your energy, because night rays every your time. Respect.